The Program Managers, Louisiana's season finale. In the high-rise boardrooms overlooking the winding Mississippi, a new team of executives gathered. They were the 802,000 the no-party voters of Louisiana. Leading the strategy session were Pivot and Meridian, seasoned professionals who knew that in this grand production of the Senate, they were the ones who truly held the creative control. The power of their position rested in a single shimmering object, the golden ticket. Pivot held it up, the light catching its metallic sheen. This wasn't just a ballot, it was an all-access pass to the internal workings of the state's political machine. As independents, they held the casting rights that the traditional parties could only dream of. Phase 1 begins on May 16th, Meridian announced, her eyes fixed on the production schedule. The performance audit. It was time to disrupt the status quo. While others followed the old scripts, the program managers were preparing to intervene in the primary process to ensure only the most qualified or the most vulnerable remained on the set. When the day of the audit arrived, Pivot and Meridian led the way to the voting kiosks. With a calculated move that sent ripples through the studio, they requested the Republican ballot. It was a strategic masterstroke, using their authority to shake up the field and force a performance review that no one saw coming. On the studio floor, the incumbent senator, Castor, felt the atmosphere change. He looked up at the red tally lights of the cameras, realizing the audience he had ignored was now directing the show. The program managers were no longer silent observers. They were rewriting his scenes in real time. As the summer faded, the strategy shifted toward Phase 2. Meridian sat down with Indigo, a key leader from the blue team. They laid out their spreadsheets across a drafting table. To achieve the final merger and maximize their impact, they needed to align their resources for a total market takeover. November 3rd arrived like a blockbuster premiere. The tension in the air was electric as the polls opened for the final merger. Pivot and Indigo walked together toward the precinct, representing a unified front of hundreds of thousands of voters ready to finalize the deal and flip the seat. Back at headquarters, Meridian watched the data streams turn from a trickle into a flood. The numbers were undeniable. By joining forces with the blue team, the 802,000 program managers had created a landslide victory. The screens glowed with the success of their strategic intervention. The doors to the executive suite swung open one last time. Pivot stood at the head of the long table, looking directly at Castor. The audit was complete, the merger was finalized, and the verdict was unanimous. With a calm, professional delivery, Pivot spoke the words that ended the era, "You're fired." As the old production wrapped, a new season for Louisiana began. Meridian and Indigo stood on the balcony, watching the first light of a new day break over the horizon. The studio was under new management, and the program managers had proven that the most powerful voice in the room is the one that refuses to be ignored.